Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. This is going to be episode 112. I'm your humble host, James Fisher. This is the JRPG Report. This is our weekly news episode. It comes out every Wednesday, and we go over all the big RPG stories in the JRPG world. First and foremost, thank you so much for listening in. As always, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm putting out daily JRPG videos over on YouTube. Just search for JRPG Report. We got a good podcast for you guys today. Not too long. I dare say this is going to end up on the shorter side of things, but we got some fun stuff to talk about. The first game I want to talk about today is one that was acute extrasensory abilities known as Psionics. They were our chance to fight the onslaught from above. To this day, Psionics have been scouted for their talents and recruited to the Other Suppression Force, or the OSF, humanity's last line of defense. You take on the role of Yuto Samaruchi, a new recruit to the OSF, aiming to become an elite psionic like the one who saved him as a child. Armed with the talent and psychokinesis, explore the futuristic city of New Hamukila, Himukia, and uncover the mysteries of the brain-punk future caught between technology and psychic abilities. This features if you guys ever played the old PS2 game, Psyops, you might have a bit of a feel to it. Obviously, this is, in a different league with what they're able to do, but you're definitely using, psychokinesis abilities in order to manipulate objects and use them to your advantage in much flashier fashion than that game. They say that using your psychokinetic abilities, the world around you becomes your greatest weapons. Lift, break, and throw pieces of the environment to build your attack combos and lay waste to the enemies. These deranged mutants that descend from the sky are highly resistant to conventional attacks and defenses. They are tormented by the constant pain of their mutation. They seek the brains of living organisms to calm their madness. These things are pretty wild looking. They kind of look like have a half doll, half flower organic makeup. It's very odd. You'll definitely want to check out the videos and images to kind of know what I'm talking about. There's even like a alligator type looking thing with a machine gun in its mouth. It is completely over the top and grandiose in its scale for sure. They say there is that you can dive into a complex story of bonds, courage, and heroism crafted by the minds behind. And this is what's really going to maybe hook you. This is actually by the team that brought us Tales of Vesperia. I'm assuming the original team, maybe part of the remake as well. Speaking of keeping with the mobile game theme, Square Enix released a new animated trailer for War of the Visions, Final Fantasy Briggs Exvius. It's a tactical RPG which is now available on iOS and Android. It is this new animated trailer. It looks pretty cool. It features the song All for Love by Japanese singer Rachel. This animated trailer, alongside an alternate version of the trailer, including Japanese vocals, will be added to the game in an update sometime in early June. Coming up later this month on May the 27th, Square Enix will host a Dragon Quest Day special program, Dragon Quest, Adventures of Dai. This is the latest information on the upcoming releases for Adventures of Dai. This, like I said, is May the 27th at 2000 Japan Central Time. You can watch it on YouTube. The broadcast will unveil more details about the new Dragon Quest Adventures of Dai anime, its voice actors, as well as the latest information on the Dragon Quest Adventures of Dai game. Compile Heart updated its official website once again for the 3D dungeon crawler JRPG Mary Skelter finale. We've got 3 new characters to talk about. First is Miko Ushishima. She is Dawn's big sis of the relief squad. They say with a mind as brilliant as hers, she also worked as a professor's assistant, so she has a deep insight on jail. Although she was taken aback by the fact that the person she respected so highly was the mastermind pulling the strings, part of her also suspected as much. In the wake of that regret, she is more resolute with her actions than before. Next is Alice. She's in Mary's group. She's a serious girl who does not often show her emotions, but is caring at heart and full of compassion. Jack, who she's been with forever, is her first and foremost concern, and she can even show signs of a normal teenage girl when it comes to him. After everyone is scattered by the onslaught of the execution girls, she cooperates with Mary and Charlotte to reunite with Jack. Last is Kunai, Kunai. She's part of Red Riding Hood's group. She's a woman who originally carried out various odd jobs in Dawn. Although she is clumsy and has a terrible memory, she doesn't give up on herself and tries to find something she can help with. Due to her untimely nature, she often comes across things that she should not have seen. Mary Skelter finale is due out for PlayStation 4 and Switch on August the 27th in Japan. Sword Art Online Alsation Lycris got another sub-episode gameplay video for this time for the characters Rone, Arabelle, and Tease Shotalinen. I hope I got those even close to pronounce them correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't. This is from publisher Bandai Namco and developer Aquaria. This is the latest one. Last week we had one on Yu-Gi-Oh! Next week, the character videos are going to focus on Famitsu. These are very short. This one was only about 57 seconds long, showing off the valets for the main for Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh! We'll bring those new ones to you next week when we get those as well. Let's take a quick break here, have a word from our sponsor, and we'll be right back with the second half of the JRPG Report episode 112. All right, everybody, welcome back. We have got a few more stories to go through. Like I said, this one's definitely going to be a bit on the short side. Wasn't a ton of things to talk about this week. If you haven't already, make sure you give us a like on Facebook, follow on Twitter, and please consider giving us a subscription on YouTube. I'm trying to get to that magical 1,000 subscriber mark, and so that at least we could open up a path towards monetization. That's a long ways away, but it's got to get there slowly, one step at a time. Like I said, I'm trying to put out daily videos over there, so you've always got something to check out. Give you a quick preview of what's coming up on this Sunday special. I think I'm going to take kind of an introspective look back, and I want to talk about kind of my JRPG story. We'll go back to the beginning. So everybody has this story, and I've probably told it, at least in parts, before, but I think that'd make a fun little Sunday special. And I'm going to try to actually do make a video of it as well and show off some of the games I've got that have been so influential in not only my gaming life, but it bleeds over into your personal life. These things form you one shape way or another. Definitely, you guys will want to look forward to the next couple of Sundays. I have been, hope he doesn't mind me talking about this, but me and Jordan have been talking about doing a Sunday special and kind of talk about the upcoming Xenoblade Chronicles game that's going to be coming out on May the 29th. He's in that boat of he played the originals, just got done playing part 2, whereas I only played Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I've got some questions about some of what the differences are between those, what we got to look forward to in terms of this upcoming exciting release. And I've got another special coming up that I think you guys are really going to enjoy, and I'm just nailing down the details to have a interview with a developer of a very promising looking different kind of JRPG. So I'll give you some more details on that as those things, I kind of nail those details all down. So back to the news. I kind of speculated on this a while ago in saying that everything's going to be canceled this year. Well, it officially has canceled Tokyo Game Show 2020. We knew, E3 was first, then Gamescom, and Tokyo has followed suit, as they have to. I mean, whoever ends up being the first big event to still go on is going to face such backlash of even trying to do something. I mean, obviously, eventually we've got to at some point, but in terms of big crowds crammed into small spaces, nobody's going to be comfortable doing that anytime soon. Just on a personal note, we had actually bought tickets, and we're going to take our daughter to our first big live concert for the Black Keys in September, and we actually got the email this week that it is officially already been canceled. Hopefully they will redo those things at some point in the future. As sporting events, concerts, big public gatherings, there's some things that are going to need to be addressed here pretty soon. But back on topic. It also, keeping in line with the other events, they have said that while the physical event has been canceled, it will be a online digital event instead. This would have run September 24th to the 27th in Chiba, Japan. You don't really need to read what's going on, but they said that they will announce things at a later press release in later May as to what exactly is going to go on for that. But certainly kind of sad news, but it is what it is, and not a whole lot can be done about that. Compile Heart released the opening movie for VVV Tunia. It will feature the opening song, and this is just the infinity symbol, and then in in parentheses it says unlimited. So the name of the song apparently is just the symbol for infinity. Which is kind of crazy. It was written and composed by Jin, and is sung by voice actors for the in-game V idols Mi and Yu. The game just is a little different and confusing, so why not make the opening song and maybe just as well. I've got that linked, of course, for you on those 3 pages: Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, if you're interested in checking that out. We speculated on this one last week as well, and it's official that Yakuza Like a Dragon will launch for Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and PC via Steam, alongside the previously announced PlayStation 4 version in the West on day one, whenever it launches in 2020. Sega announced the Xbox versions will support smart delivery and cross-save functionality. There are pre-orders for the physical day one edition now available at select retailers in North America and Europe. Here is the quick overview of the game. They say it's a truly outrageous RPG like you've never seen before. Alongside an all-new cast and setting, Yakuza Like a Dragon introduces a new dynamic RPG combat system that takes the genre somewhere it's never been before: present-day Japan. Ichiban is a die-hard RPG fan, so to help him stay focused in fights, he imagines the battlefield as if he was living in one of his favorite games. In Yakuza Like a Dragon, players will level up 19 different jobs. Far from traditional RPG fare, not warriors or mages, but bodyguards and musicians with completely unique strengths and skills. Get ready to step into Ichiban's shoes and crack some skulls in style. The game just looks insane, and I'm looking forward to it. I've never played a Yakuza game. It's just not really been my thing, but you give me a turn-based battle system, and I'll give you a chance. Square Enix released a set, I believe it was around 5 or 6 images for both the new Nier Replicant console game and the Nier Reincarnation mobile game. Replicant is in development for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. No word on a next-gen version of that yet. Reincarnation, development for iOS and Android. No release dates have been announced yet, but both games are looking pretty amazing. These screenshots were originally published in last week's issue of Weekly Famitsu. Just a quick story here, not JRPG related especially, but today we got a first glimpse at PlayStation 5 footage of what a game could definitely look like. It was showing off Unreal Engine 5. Now, of course, Unreal Engine 4 is kind of like, you know, the bread and butter for most of these games coming out nowadays. Unreal Engine 5 is not due for a full rollout until late 2021. They're going to have a partial rollout in time. So it kind of sounds like these new systems, both the new Xbox and new PlayStation, are going to integrate this into their systems at a later point in time. But in particular, the game that was showed off today using that image, while nothing is going to ever take your breath away anymore, we've kind of reached that point in games where we're getting close to what's that word? It's called, what is it? They look so good that we can't really start to tell. We're not getting that generational leap anymore. There were some very impressive effects with just like little tiny, you know, rocks rolling down a cliff. The sound was truly amazing on them. I'm not super excited about this next generation of consoles. I kind of just feel like it's at a weird time as well with everything that's going on in the world. You know, there's more than a few families that are past living paycheck to paycheck. There is no paycheck to live off of. And just the mere idea of a, let's just say, $500 system coming out the end of the year, it seems like just a wild fantasy at this point. But I have heard production has not been affected so far. I don't know how, but it looks like we're going to be getting next gen stuff, and we should be hearing about some games here pretty soon. We're, you know, E3 is usually around this time, late May, early June. So I think we're going to start to see some big announcements come out here pretty soon about next generation projects. I saw a short story about Squaresoft. I don't know if I'll ever stop calling them Squaresoft. That's just, it's in my brain. It's not going away. Square Enix was not planning on making any particular presentations around what would have been E3, which is a little bit odd. At least not big ones. We'll wait and see some clarifications on that, as I kind of just saw little blurbs here and there. Nothing out of the official outlets. But we'll just have to wait and see what is coming up from these next generation games. As far as JRPG goes, I'm sure we're going to get some, you know, PS5 versions of these PS4 games. But like we talked about many podcasts ago, when are we going to see that one? I think it's going to be a while. And who knows, maybe the first JRPG we get on the next console is going to be like Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. Who knows? Anyway, but a lot to look forward to. And I do have one more story to pass on to you guys, but I'll go ahead and give you a little fair warning. It's about Cold Steel 4. There is the potential for a spoiler. I'm going to do my best not to say too much, but just keep that in mind. If you want to go ahead and tune off, that is fine. I would completely understand. Alright, if you're still here, that means you want to hear about Cold Steel 4. Basically, it was just a new story trailer came out for it. It doesn't talk about too many things, but it does assume that you've beaten Cold Steel 3. Past that point, it doesn't ruin too much. It actually could have showed a lot more, to be quite honest, to somebody who's completed Part 3. But very cool story. Definitely shows how the story is going to focus on the new Class 7 and the old Class 7. Kind of getting through the fallout of what happened at the end of part 3 and what they're going to do about it, as the world is on the brink of just all-out war. It doesn't look too good. A certain someone is in need of rescuing. So here is, it does say, it just says taking place shortly after the ending of Cold Steel 3. It even shows like Yuna waking up in I guess not a hospital, but like an inn, a bed at the inn, and you know, the new Class 7 having fought the final battle. They I guess they were all asleep or something, or wore out from it. So it's directly right after part 3. There's no time skip that we can foresee. It does say it's the Ultimate Class reunion, boasting the largest roster in the series history. Heroes from all over join the cause. The heroes of Class 7 unite with Crossbell's special support section, and even the heroes of Libel. I hope I say that right. The word is spelled Liberl, but I'm pretty sure it's Libel. No R in there. So that means we're going to get people from Trails in the Sky, I do believe. The new and returning battle systems join the already polished combat Legend of Heroes series, including the ability to summon giant mechs to the field for devastating attacks, use of an auto battle for more expedient combat. Don't know if I love that idea or not. I guess it could be I would say it's for new players, but you're not going to start with part 4. So that's kind of weird. Now, you've heard my rant previously that if I'm playing a mobile game, I need an auto battle. If I'm playing a console game, I don't want an auto battle. At least I don't think I do. I mean, it's an option, so it's not like you have to use it. And this, I think, is really cool. The ability to use the Lost Arts, the most powerful orbital magic capable of turning the tide in battle. So that'd be really cool, getting some new spells and arts at our disposal. They say in between epic battles, you can catch a breather with a number of minigames, including fan favorites, well, not my favorite, Vantage Master, fishing, and even puzzle games. Introducing new pursuits like poker, blackjack, and the horror coaster. If you've played part 3 to its conclusion, seen the credits, then you may watch this trailer. Don't even look at the image for the trailer if you've not completed part 3, okay? That's just, this series more than anything else. Like, I can't even talk about Hajime no Kozeki. I can't really talk about this one too much without some key elements coming out. Now, the game's been out in Japan forever, so it's not like you can't go and access all that stuff, but we're going to be getting a trickle of information here as we get closer and closer to that fall release date here in the West for PlayStation 4. PC and Switch owners, you will have to wait until 2021. I believe I mentioned this last week that the early placeholder dates are throwing at that October 16th range, somewhere in that time frame. That would be a Friday, so most of the time we get on Tuesdays, so you're probably looking at October 20th or 27th as possible landing dates here. That would be just fine with me. Also, the rumor of PS5 coming out in October, so could be a busy month in addition to all the normal stuff that comes out. That's all I got this week for you guys. Like I said, it was going to be a short one. That's the way it goes sometimes. If you're so inclined, I'd love a review on wherever you listen to this podcast. Those reviews are what bumps us up and gets more people to notice this podcast. I would really appreciate that. If you are so inclined, we're still taking listener support. You can do that at the bottom of this podcast. There's a link for that. Or get in touch with me, jrpgreport@gmail.com. I'd be more than happy to tell you how to do that. And I'm going to, if I can remember, sign up for Patreon if you guys would like to support that way. I certainly would not say low. I would not say no. Rather, that would be super awesome. So, until Sunday, guys, that's going to do it for the JRPG Report. We're here every day for you in some way, shape, or fashion. And we'll see you guys with a Sunday special this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is James Fisher. See you guys again next time. But until then, get back out there and level up.